No, someone was talking about that the Virgil's question to Tulsi, and they were like, in 2019, how is it possible that just Chapo just doesn't have audio of this supposed question and answer? And I was like, sorry, we only have video and audio of this exchange, so be on the lookout for that. And this, yeah,
I'm so glad Virgil's like just all the people who are like, YouTube's hiding the amount of likes I have. I'm so glad they're yelling at him. It's my greatest dream come true.
That's what Tulsi is there for, to absorb all the crank energy.
Felix, she'll like this. I told Matt about it, but I had a substitute yoga teacher came in instead of my like tiny little muscular Malaysian woman. There was like this robust, like very like hot blonde woman in her 30s, and I'm like, oh, okay. So she starts up the class, and all of a sudden this mellifluous Minnesota accent comes through, and she's just like, welcome to restorative yoga. So we're going to focus today on a fluid asana and building our breath and core strength. And whatever is comfortable for you, do that. So today we're going to set our intention. And I couldn't pay attention. I was completely distracted, and everyone else was acting like it was normal, and I was just looking around like, is no one else hearing this?
It's one of the most like jarring American accents because it's just a fucking Canadian accent.
You also just don't expect to find it in a fucking Brooklyn yoga studio. She's like, okay, so when you're in a plank position, you want your elbows to bend towards your feet before transitioning into downward dog. And it was like, I was there for it, but honestly, it was more distracting than anything in the world. Anyway, I found you a wife.
Fuck yeah. And she does yoga.
She's hella buff. She's all lean muscle. You get the impression she could wrestle a gator.
I do want to know why she left Minnesota to come here.
I do too. I want to know everything about her.
You and her could both have a conversation on that subject.
Well, it's very obvious why I came here. I couldn't get a real job.
Yeah. Still can't get a real job.
Well,
I stopped trying.
Felix, actually, I need to get your comment on this. While we were in Iowa at the state fair and just the state in general,
I think. Can I just say something real quick?
Yeah, go for it.
In this day and age, with the American dream feeling more like an American nightmare, feels more like the Iowa State unfair. Damn.
Never mind. You're not good enough for my yoga teacher.
What? I think she'd like that.
Well, no, I wanted to get your comment on the fact that both the State Fair, the Des Moines Register, and just generally the people of Iowa have adopted the phrase Iowa nice to describe themselves.
Okay.
And I'm wondering how you feel about that.
Well, okay. So there are that is my favorite, who just one of those interchangeable guys we read every other week. I was surprised at how Max Boot was I was surprised that the people in Iowa didn't beat my ass and
Didn't throw
pull my underwear so hard up
and
my
garbage at
asshole
me.
that my colon bled. This usually happens to me, but it's there are nice people anywhere really except for New York. But Iowans, yeah, they can be super nice, but they're also the most pissed Americans I ever met were Iowans. Because they're all they all have 4 brothers. Everyone's named Connor and Ian. They all wrestle. They all just get the shit beaten out of them by their older brothers all the time. And they're just they're the people buying all the 5 Finger Death Punch albums.
Well, and Slipknot, hometown heroes of Des Moines.
Cory Booker from Slipknot's woke.
That was the best part, is that we got there and they had a listing of all of the acts from 90s mainstays, Hootie and the Blowfish, to relatively recent hit makers, Chainsmokers.
Yeah, Chainsmokers.
But the only group that was sold out was fucking Slipknot.
That shit.
No. We will be editing that.
No edits.
He's not editing.
That is not making the fucking episode. Take 2. Slipknot.
Wait, what did you say?
He said Slip Cloud.
Look.
That's a fucking band that opens for Dream Theater. What the fuck is that?
I did not say Slip Cloud, but the important thing to know is no one will ever know what I said because it will never be heard by human ears. It's out.
Corey, Trevor.
Now, if somebody should
Corey
have,
Never recovered.
Corey
from
Trevor
that.
from Slipknot is like woke though.
well, that's good.
He's like well, all those 90s and 2000s, like except for Kid Rock's the outlier. Kid Rock's like a MAGA shithead.
Isn't he from Michigan though?
and
Yeah.
rich.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
And
he
rich
grew,
kid.
grew
Well,
up
he
super
also
rich.
grew up super rich. Yeah, he's like a Farmington Hills guys who repped Detroit, I believe.
Classic Larry the Cable Guy class, red neck face, I guess
What
you
we
call it.
call bubbification.
Bumpification.
So like,
The person who ran the political soapbox in Des Moines Register, we heard her can spiel probably a dozen times when we were there, and she asked every single time before the candidate came out, does anyone know what Iowa nice is? And people would just sort of murmur, and she'd be like, okay, well, look to your right, look to your left. Both of those people are nice.
are they?
So,
Yeah.
I don't know.
That's
All right, let's start the show. This is Chapo. It's me, Will. We got Amber.
Hi.
And Matt.
Hey.
Today, but to kick off the show, Dateline, Brooklyn, New York, August 19th, 2019. Chapo, Department of Corrections. Okay, you may be aware that over the last few episodes, we have been dipping rather heavily into the Jeffrey Epstein case, and some might say conspiracy surrounding the events leading up to his death in the Manhattan Correctional Facility in the solitary unit under federal custody. We implied heavily on previous shows, and in fact, just the last one I recorded, that he was 100% murdered in his cell. Unfortunately, now I'll be having to release the following correction. We were wrong. I was wrong. The Manhattan, New York City Chief Medical Examiner issued their autopsy report and found that the cause of death was suicide by hanging himself from a bedsheet off a bunk bed in his cell. And that's that. I'm reading right now from the medical examiner's report. It states here, we find conclusively that the cause of death was suicide. Although, and then it goes on, and I don't know why this is in the report. It goes on to say, the medical examiner then dusted off their hands theatrically and said, and that's the end of that. So, this will be the last time we ever talk about Jeffrey Epstein. I apologize.
I know. I really got a little carried away. I'm really sorry, everybody. Yeah, no, I really thank them for the reality check, and now I can go on with my life knowing that
I will
there
say
was
this.
nothing there.
He had a lot of-
As soon as it happened, I just said, look, and I've been watching a lot of Coen Brothers recently too, which has helped me through this troubling time, because you realize sometimes there are insane coincidences and sometimes there aren't, and you might never know. And also maybe there's a God, but he doesn't care, and don't try and figure out what he's saying. But it is like a very burn after reading moment where it's like, you won't necessarily know for sure what happened, and particularly because you will never conceive of the stupidest possible contingencies. Like my friend suggested, he's like, if we later found out that a pedo priest broke in because he believed he had an agreement with God that if he killed Epstein he would be forgiven, I'd be like, yeah, that makes sense. Or if a diddled Irish Catholic cop killed him, I'd be like, yeah, that makes sense. Like, it's all just completely, I'd be like, it's fine. For me, also, it doesn't matter that much because it doesn't change the way I navigate the world. I've accepted that the whole thing is run by pedophile lizard billionaires a long time ago. It's not going to change my behavior in any way. Okay, but you say that, but in The Guardian, when they reported on it first, at the bottom, they had the number for, like, Good Samaritans.
No,
and all.
NPR did that too. NPR did that too. If you're feeling suicidal, because they needed to immediately smother it in liberal pieties about what? Oh, you think it was you don't think it was suicide? I guess you don't care about the bad conditions in America's prisons. Oh, you don't think it was suicide? I guess you're not worried about suicide awareness. Wow, that's pretty fucked up of you.
Well, as part of my apology for, indulging in the, again, conspiracy theory that he was 100% definitely murdered and absolutely did not kill himself. As a contrition for that, I'll be linking to the Grave Diggers song 1-800-SUICIDE. And I hope we could just like have a listen to that.
And, you know, if you listen to that song, those are Jeffrey Epstein did everything they do in that song to kill himself. Jeffrey Epstein furthermore did the things they do in the 3-6 on Rapid Gate. Sewed his asshole shut and swallowed a grenade. How badly this man wanted to go, and it's like why we're raising awareness today.
Yeah.
We are all raising $3 million to set up a charity 5K in Fort Wayne, Indiana, to raise awareness of our new ribbon campaign for suicides in Manhattan Correctional Center.
I just think we all have to, just accept that pedophiles have run the world since, prior to capitalism. And, really focus on the fact that, like, Bernie Sanders is the only anti-pedophile candidate.
Yes.
Yeah.
And suicide or not, or not.
Yeah, not.
But anyway, regardless of how he died, it's about how he lived. It's about how he lived, which was a man, a human being, like we all are, whose vast and unspeakable crimes were facilitated by the United States government at nearly every step. That's what's important, folks.
Yeah, and people are going to say this is nothing like Tupac.
I hate those. I hate old heads. I hate when old heads say that. I hate when old heads say this is nothing like the Franklin credit ring. All right, so yeah, apologies again. This will be the we will not be talking about Jeffrey Epstein anymore until about 20 minutes into this podcast, a little bit later. But before then, let's check in. We were just in the Iowa State Unfair, covering.
You know what? It's a shuck.
Covering the big show, and I want to, obviously we talked a lot about Sanders and all the candidates we did see. But I'd like to now tune in on two of the candidates we did not get a chance to see on the old soapbox. And let's begin with Joe Biden.
Diamond Joe.
Joe
Front runner.
Biden.
Joe.
The
Unstoppable juggernaut of electability.
The front runner.
They loved it.
The thing you got to remember about Joe Biden is he's the front runner.
Yeah.
He's the most
He's the one who can beat
candidate.
Trump. Stop talking about any negative thing about him.
No,
No, he's not.
Amber. Everything is fine. Everything is. It's normal.
Yeah.
This is a normal. Amber, he is a
What do you
normal,
mean normal?
presidential
Yeah.
candidate who is leading all the polls and leading all the polls. Only candidate who can defeat Trump. Most important thing, got to get behind him. However,
yeah.
according to his allies, they're quote have floated scaling back events to limit gaffes. Now, gaffes, come on. People are making too big a deal about the gaffes. Everybody makes gaffes. Doesn't matter. It's normal. This is in the Hill. It says here, allies to Joe Biden have been floating the idea of altering the former vice president's schedule in an effort to reduce the gaffes he has made in recent days.
Hmm.
Okay, well,
Amber,
Trump's sundowning by 9 in the morning.
I how could I describe him move like a fleshy slinky? That's how he moves. Just sort of momentum. Boom, boom. Yeah, Joe Biden's like he's up and at them. Like if he sees hair he wants to smell, he's smelling it.
It's the difference between Baron Harkonnen and the Pardasha Emperor. Whatever the
Yes,
fuck it
yes,
is.
100%. I would even.
no, it's a push-up competition.
Also punch.
Both, both,
Oh,
both.
both?
And then Trump
Oh,
called him
okay.
Crazy Joe.
Okay.
An allusion to Dan Quinn.
Yeah.
Of course.
Yeah.
Yeah. Envelop you. To your point, Amber, though, I think one of his aides did use the word, these happens as the sun goes down. He said that to a reporter, and then the reporters mysteriously crashed his car into a palm tree at 120 miles an hour. You're right. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Sorry, man. Well, not if Hinkenluber has his way. They call him Middle Class Joe.
Okay, so you don't like him. You don't like him going out there and saying that like him and Jesse Helms cut each other's palms and became blood brothers. But you also want him to do more events. It seems to me like I wonder why Joe Biden is held to a different double standard than other candidates. Is it because he's Irish? Maybe. Is it because he's from Delaware? Definitely. Let's go. Yeah, yeah. Probably not.
You've got to look who's going to win this election, and maybe you have to swallow a little bit and say, okay, I personally like so-and-so better, but your bottom line has to be that. You have to beat Trump. He later added, you know, you may like another candidate better, but you have to look who's going to win. And Joe is that person.
It's like somebody's mom going to the schoolyard and yelling at kids for picking on their son.
Oh, so you don't want to be friends with my son because he's stupid, but he smells bad. You know what that makes you?
Have you seen the RCP poll on Oscar? On my beautiful boy Oscar?
Everybody has to give Joe Biden a Valentine.
And you know, and and probably the other person who probably knows Joe Biden as well as his wife is, of course, former President Barack Obama, who, according to Vanity Fair, had this to say. As the New York Times reported on Friday, Obama has taken an active interest behind the scenes in Joe Biden's presidential campaign, not, it seems, to help his former vice president beat out the rest of the crowded field of 2020 hopefuls, but to shield him. Obama counseled Biden several times before he entered the race in the spring, the Times reported, and the former president cast his doubts about the pending campaign. You don't have to do this, Joe, Obama told Biden. A source familiar with their conversations told the paper. You really don't. After Biden entered the race anyway, telling him that he could never forgive himself if he didn't personally try to oust Trump, Obama began pushing Biden to expand his aging inner circle, according to the Times. His advisors needed to ensure Biden didn't embarrass himself or damage his legacy. Too late.
Yeah, how could he embarrass his legacy? His legacy is going out and just jabbering like a mental patient. Nobody who's been in the Senate that long possibly could.
Yeah. I think that's what he means is don't tarnish my legacy. Yeah.
Don't make people go start asking me that little question. Wait, why did Obama, the most left-wing politician ever, pick this guy?
Well, yeah, because yeah, no, I'm sure Obama's loving it. Where like at every Democratic debate, they bring up like Joe, like why did you dramatically escalate the drug war and like lock a generation of like young black men behind bars or whatever? And he's just like, ask Obama. Ask Obama. He likes me. You know, and it's just yeah.
Supports everything I do.
I'm just listen. I talked to Barack about that. He said, Joe, you had to do what you had to do.
Joe Biden is Artie from Casino, with the bugged grocery store.
Oh yeah.
Because like people were perfectly content to just not think about it until he was like, Obama likes everything that I've ever done. You're looking at him. New York Times bestseller, former top 100 player of the Specialist Half-Life 1 mod in 2001. No, or 2004. Wow, I'm getting like Joe Biden. I don't even remember when this shit was. No, I feel like they're all like splitting their time. I mean, all the unindicted Epstein conspirators are sort of throwing their lot between Harris, Buttigieg, especially. Buttigieg is fucking caking up. He may end up just getting like just probably the highest ratio of donos to actual supporters out of anyone, right? It's just like got to be like $1 million per actual voter at this point. But no, Biden, something about. Yeah.
I mean, the closest I've ever gotten with it is just winding people up on Twitter, and then I'm just finally like, what do you actually like about Joe Biden's record or career in government? And the only response I ever get is, yeah, real nice good faith question you're asking there, buddy. No way I'm engaged in that.
It's a trick.
That old trick where you ask somebody name one thing you actually like about this guy. I'm lives to your filthy schemes.
Well, there are like literally 20 other candidates in this race with identical politics to him. So like, what do you see in him that you have to support? And I think it's just some invariable. I mean, it's just what Joe Biden said. She just says, look at the polls. He's leading the polls.
Yeah.
Put whatever stock you want in that.
Yeah, he's not way ahead. It means nothing.
He doesn't have like the amulet.
Yeah.
Like, he's the only one or whatever.
It's Boosie Goose. Oh yeah.
I'm dropping dick off.
Well, I mean, Amber, you're not far off. Her 3 a.m. agenda, by which she means issues that keep middle class Americans up at night.
We need a fourth meal for America's energy policy.
The pursuit of Moss happiness.
America, it's 3 a.m. You gotta drive home. What are you gonna do? Are you gonna risk it?
America, just close one eye.
Because you guys, there's again at the House of Movie Producers in East Hampton. You know, you can read into that.
Yeah.
Unindicted.
David Geffen.
I believe in capitalism, but capitalism is not working for most people. She's like the fucking mortician at the beginning of The Godfather.
Yep.
I believe in capitalism and raised my daughter in the capitalist fashion. She sat on the patio steps of the Patrikoff house, looking out at a peach orchard among flower and herb beds. She said she recognized people who had become successful by working hard and following rules, but that the middle class needs help. Harris again tried to clarify her stance on health care, a topic that tripped her up in early Democratic debates. I have not been comfortable with Bernie's plan, she said of Sanders' Medicare for All proposal, and explained how a Harris administration would leave room for private insurance. I think Medicare for All would also leave room for private insurance. It's not.
Whom would have predicted this, by the way, considering because when she came into the race, everyone was like, no, she says it. It's on her website, Medicare for All. She co-sponsored it. It's real. It's like, yeah, they're all lying.
Yeah.
They're literally all lying, and it's a question of when they're going to drop it.
And her defense
It's
is,
depending on their
again, not
tactical
I was lying,
desire.
of course.
I don't know what words mean. Look, he's an old man. I didn't want him to be disappointed. His grandkids don't call him.
Goes to show the importance of, does someone have a long record of supporting things like single payer healthcare, or are they posers?
Where you been?
And then, the Daily Beast wrote this up. Kamala says she's uncomfortable with Bernie's healthcare plan 2 years after co-sponsoring it. She says here, again, at a fundraiser in the Hamptons this weekend, she says, I think almost every member of the United States Senate who's running for president and many others have signed on to a variety of plans in the Senate, and I have done the same, Harris said, according to
That is the most. I'm sorry. Look, we've all signed lots of bills. It's almost like it's the thing that we do.
It's the job
description. We've all signed bills, but that's the most insanely like distant like. What is a bill, really?
She goes, all of them are good ideas, which is why I support them. And
They're not all good ideas.
And I support Medicare for all. But as you may have noticed over the course of many months, I've not been comfortable with Bernie's plan, the Medicare for all plan. Running on plan. I would just say keep an eye on as Biden continues to. How about the Hamana?
You mean charm crowds, show his experience, not annoy everybody by holding events late at night. Have you ever considered that? Maybe he's considerate towards reporters.
Well, we'll see if some of the night owls shift their support to Kamala because she's the only one talking to them, and she observes genius hours like
Yeah.
Donald Trump.
What can I say? You can't have my dream ticket, but Biden and Buttigieg.
You might.
That would be fucking awesome, dude.
You might.
Dude,
Do you just like jump ship on Klobuchar now? First in your heart.
Hurts my heart. If Minnesota secedes, like I will help her win, military governorship.
It would basically be, it would be Dirty Grandpa, the beloved film that we all loved. Did you like Dirty Grandpa? Yeah, you want to see it for 4 to 8 years? Get Biden and Buttigieg in there.
All right. Well, so don't want to again Lath of Heaven that into a reality. So enough with the sordid spectacle of campaigns, politicians, votes, the fake politics. Let's go back talking about the real politics, which is of course Jeffrey Epstein and everything surrounding his life and death, which provide a kind of a skeleton key through which to unlock an understanding about the nature of power, money, and government, and how it is exercised in the real world, not the fake world of the Iowa Jeffrey Epstein and his life that I think needs to become kind of a stand-in for how we talk about billionaires in our society in general, right? Like his life and the things he did and everything surrounding it and all like the weird mysteries and conspiracies and questions about it is just another way of discussing what it means to live in a society ruled by billionaires. And ever since his death, we've seen a number of articles attempt to kind of metabolize this new reality into a kind of official narrative. We talked a bit about it at the beginning with this idea about suicide is serious. Like, anyone who's struggling, call this hotline. Neglect in our prison system very serious. People kill themselves all the time. Blah, blah,
That's
blah.
the real story.
Yeah, that's the real story here. Or there's a number of ways that we've attempted to kind of shift the focus. And I now have
That was
L Brands founder Leslie Wexner, who accused the disgraced financier of stealing vast sums of money, recalls his father's warning about too much optimism.
Well, if you look into Wexner's is just as, forgetting the fact that he
Jesus
gave
Christ.
Epstein $250 million in a fucking mansion and even the plane and power of attorney. He also himself has an insane life. In the 90s, his main logistics company was fucking Air America. Literally Iran-Contra ass, the fucking CIA planes that got shot down over Nicaragua and started the whole scandal.
Well, I guess he'd like them to just throw those planes away, but maybe it's good to reuse things.
He goes, Leslie Wexner was among the pathfinders for American business in China in the 1970s, shunning
Cool.
the official channels in Beijing for Shanghai, making big advancements on essentially a handshake. I just met a businessman somewhere, and he trusted me, and I trusted him. And we
Cool.
started doing things, Mr. Wexner, the 81-year-old founder of L Brands, said in a talk at Harvard Center for Public Leadership. If trust helped make Mr. Wexner a retailing legend, though, it is tormenting him now. Mr. Wexner had a personal and professional relationship with accused sex trafficker Jeffrey Epstein. How could a man who amassed billions in selling bras, blue jeans, and bath salts to women put so much trust in Mr. Epstein for 2 decades?
How indeed?
How could a man that sold ball gags and rope really get mixed up with a shady guy like that?
Mr. Wexner claims his former associate misappropriated vast sums of money.
I'm so sorry, man.
It's a question that brings into focus the role trust plays in American business. Long seen as nearly essential as money for the economy, it is as powerful as it is dangerous. Trust serves as the secret sauce in every transaction, business plan, and employment.
The walnut
that's
sauce.
the secret sauce.
But behind every Ponzi scheme, market meltdown, and corporate fraud lies a serious case of misplaced trust.
It is so awesome to okay, you're friends with Jeffrey Epstein for 4 decades. There's just endless weird shit you get little glimpses of, and then when he finally fucking dies, you get an article placed. It's actually Jeffrey Epstein's friend's problem is that he's too good of a person.
Even the most moral among us make mistakes that have shadowed us. This is tough for Mr. Wexner, who spent much of his time and fortune trying to carve out a legacy that doesn't resemble Mr. Epstein's. What, through the Victoria's Secret Angels program? How does that not reflect what Epstein was up to? Anyway.
Well, I mean, one, they're adults.
Okay. When asked what he wanted to be known for, Mr. Wexner recently said he doesn't want to be remembered as the guy who created the sexiest thongs or comfiest hip huggers. No one remembers who sold the most togas in Rome, he said.
Wait.
They remember Caligula.
Yeah. You should hope at this point that that's what you'll be remembered for.
He has spent decades giving away millions to various But Mr. Wexner acknowledged in the same talk that there's a flip side. People remember the great villains more than they remember the great heroes. Joker's trick.
No, I do like. It's almost like a humble brag type thing. It's like, oh, everyone's gonna remember me as the greatest bra inventor of all time. It's my curse.
He didn't even.
We'll remember you for something far different now.
Yeah.
Don't worry about
You beat it.
you beat it. I mean, the truth is, no one's gonna fucking remember this guy. He's the viceroy of Ohio. There are a billion fucking guys like this who just like someone you've never heard of who controls like his personal wealth is in the tens of billions. He controls, around hundreds of billions of dollars of wealth. He just like if you lived in this state, he kind of affected every asset of every factor of your life. He did God knows what in his life, and then they just die at age like 150, and nothing happens. So he'll know like his legacy will be the thing that allowed him to do whatever, which is no one will fucking think about him.
Didn't one of Wexner's other personal attorneys was murdered before he was about to testify in an offshore banking scandal case?
It was mob related, yeah, because his air logistics was the CIA front airline, Southern Air Transport. His ground logistics was a mob controlled firm from Pittsburgh.
Moving on. Real quick. Ghislaine Maxwell at In-N-Out.
Okay.
Okay. Is it double pack photo op gold or animal style? What do you got, folks?
Okay. I was getting settled down for a while. I really was. I was settling down. I was like, you know what? Anything could have happened. Who knows? I don't think he killed himself, but honestly, the number of things that could have happened are beyond my ability to understand. Exactly. Who could know anything? But and then that picture came out. First, there was the leak story about how she shacked up with some billionaire in Massachusetts. And I was like, oh, that's weird. And then that fucking picture came out. And in my head, I'm like, okay, I honestly must be seeing this thing wrong. Because in a world where they sneak into the fucking shoe and kill this guy and cover it up, she's not walking around getting burgs in LA. That's not a reality that makes sense. And then the fucking photograph is fake.
Do we know
that's
that?
not, yes.
Okay.
The photograph is fake. In fact, there's an article today from the Daily News confirming that it's fucking fake. There's a photo. There's a picture. There's a ad in the background for the movie Good Boys that's coming out this weekend. That is not there because that is a very recognizable In-N-Out in L.A. that people know what the fucking ad is, and it's not that. Somebody fucking photoshopped that in there.
We live in the age of
And Good Boys.
and good boys, yeah.
Yeah, they're gonna do a thing where the 10,000th Double W Bite Into has a golden ticket to visit Little St. James.
I like the idea that like the only person who could break this open was like Joey's World Tour. He's like, I know that In-N-Out burger.
But like, what does that mean? I don't know what I'm supposed to do with this information. That
I don't
somebody faked
either.
a photograph to make it look like she was in L.A. holding a book about CIA agents who got killed in the line of duty. What?
Matt, I think it's someone in particular who's hated you since high school and has found a way to fuck with you.
I think it might be. It might be. It's got to be something like that.
Did you
'Cause my
bully?
only
Did you
other-
bully anyone?
No, I was a good boy. My only.
No.
Oh shit.
CIA book.
To Ghislaine and whoever she's sending a message to, can you just text each other? I'm sick of seeing people talk on the timeline when they can just give each other a call.
No, because it's like, honestly, at this point, it's either I'm being tormented by a specific person, or my other theory is that this entire case, the entire Epstein thing, with its Baroque intricacies, with its because we've talked forever on the show about how everything feels in a stasis, and this case, even if we know in your heart you're never going to know what happened, it just feels like a crack in a seam in the wall, something to grab onto, to climb on, just like a peek through the veil, and that makes me think. And it's so entertaining, even though it's horrible. It's so riveting, and you could just stare at it forever. It feels like that our collective consciousness is releasing the DMT before like our society dies.
I feel like we get a lot of that, though. I feel like, I mean, you just described like Trump winning. Everything felt like it was in the stasis, and
I
then
don't
this.
think, I don't think. I think it's different.
It's
Because
well,
Trump
it
winning is he
it
won an
dude.
election. This is a thing that you can look at any angle of it, and none of it makes sense.
May I
It's- right,
suggest
it's not-
just
it's not
binge
totally-
watching some Coen Brothers
It's
movies?
not totally one
Doesn't
for
make it make
one,
sense. It's still
but
insane.
like
Those are good burgers, Walter.
it's not like totally.
Like,
It's not
things
totally
happen
like.
randomly, and sometimes
some
they're
of these things aren't
coincidences.
random, though.
Sometimes
Right, right.
they're
Some of them
not
are, but
random.
other ones
And
are,
you know
and
what?
you don't know which
and
ones are
you
which.
will never know. And part
Obviously.
of life is about accepting
Obviously.
that.
It's
You
not
don't
the-
know the grand plan. You don't know if it's coincidence. You don't know if anyone is orchestrating anything. You don't know.
That's what
you
I'm saying.
cannot
It's
keep looking at
tantalizing.
alphabet soup and trying to figure out what the plot is.
Well, no, I mean that's. I mean, I'm not saying it's like one for one with Trump being like no events like one for one, especially not that they're too dissimilar. But what I'm saying is that like everything for the last like 8 or 9 years has felt like it's in stasis, and the defining trait isn't that things like this never happen. It's that they happen enough to make you question if stasis
absolutely.
is breaking,
I'm
and
absolutely wrong.
but
I
enough
actually will-
enough to make you feel like you're going insane.
I will say that yes, like there is something distinctive about this where it's something that feels like it happened.
Mm-hmm.
Like it wasn't just something that got immediately digested in sort of the news cycle hysteria. I mean, I think it'll be a lot of, sound and fury signifying nothing, and most of those lizard people are still just going along like nothing happened to them. But it does feel like something happened. It's like we're all seeing this, right? Fargo is teaching my goddamn yoga class, and everyone finally realizes that, and they're like, yeah, that's a little weird. I'll admit that's a little weird.
But what I'm saying is like part of what drives you insane is the stasis of everything. But part of what makes you doubly insane is the idea that you're going to get out of it.
It's not even that. It's not understand it. It's like get a grip. It's move just even intellectually beyond. Like, yeah, the idea that it's going to be some sort of rallying cry to bring down the oligarchy, obviously that's never going to happen. But it's just, there's just all these crannies and on what felt like just a sheer rock face. That's what drives you insane. Yeah.
I've never
fuck.
heard of this
Wow.
publication before.
Wow.
Curtis
Come on.
There is an article here titled "Conspiracy Theories About Jeffrey Epstein's Suicide Harm Kids."
Okay.
Yeah, thank you for the heads up, brother.
It's like, yeah, that's what's harming kids.
Yeah.
That's what about this.
They should call it repressed fatherly.
So, it goes here. This weekend, President Donald Trump promoted a video created by conservative comedian Terrence Williams claiming that the Clintons orchestrated Jeffrey Epstein's prison death. The president, who is no stranger to promoting conspiracy theories, pushed the video to his official Twitter feed in spite of Epstein's death being confirmed as a suicide by his very own Justice Department. Did he mean it? Probably not, but the harm is still done. What Trump and the Clinton body count crowd fail to grasp is that conspiracy theories are deeply toxic to families and can have long-lasting detrimental
Oh my
effects.
God. Look, my twin boys are 16 years old, and they are dead set on the fact that Santa Claus exists still.
You're giving my son Braylon unreality issues with this. Stop it.
They spread a distrust of malignant government and authority that can undermine democracy and even lead to violent ideological extremism. The theory that conspiracies can harm kids is not in itself a conspiracy. In fact, it's based on core principle of the science of parenting. Children look to adults to fulfill developmental needs. Adults help kids understand the world and their place in it.
Unless they're pedophiles.
Adults also provide security and stability.
Unless they're pedophiles.
When adults are loose with the facts or bend them to their will,
Or pedophiles.
like when they espouse conspiracy theories, these developmental needs are destabilized. Kids can't decipher fact from fiction like an adult. Their world is instead upended. I mean, the fucked up thing here is that,
Yeah.
Absolutely nobody can. I can't. I sure as shit can't.
Yeah.
When adults become conspiratorial, they sow distrust on the government and children. I mean, I'm sorry, like, isn't that healthy distrust of government? Should that be inculcated?
No.
I have raised my children to just, get in the back of a van the second someone offers them candy.
Yeah.
The world is good and kind to me. I mean, like obviously you want to raise kids with some sense of security or they turn out all weird and nervous. But like you do slowly introduce skepticism about the world to them. Otherwise, they're just going to be these naive rubes that get predated on by pedophiles.
Worse yet, conspiracies can cause children to feel as if they are actively threatened by powerful people, sending a sense of stability.
That's the entire story.
Silly. Come on, folks.
When a conspiracy causes a trusted adult to become paranoid, that sense of instability becomes more acute and results in depression and anxiety.
Okay, I'm sorry. Like, this is just really upsetting to me. Does this guy know that Jeffrey Epstein already went to jail
That's conspiracy.
for like
Yeah, that he
trafficking children?
He got a fucking sweetheart deal after abusing children.
Like, I feel like he doesn't
Yeah.
know.
It sounds like
he
these are
missed
just
that part.
accusations.
Yeah.
Which father wrote this? Dylan Baker from Happiness?
Oh, deep cut. Trump, of
This
course.
is Simon Pegg and the boys. You're a good boy, Huey. Don't go to MCC.
Trump, of course, is no stranger to conspiracy theories. He's championed such intrigues as Senator Ted Cruz's father being complicit in the JFK assassination, also true, and birtherism, which attacked Obama's citizenship. While many of Trump's supporters are also conspiratorial-minded, Jeffrey Epstein's death has revealed a vein of conspiracy on the left as well.
Oh, no.
There are plenty of liberal-minded individuals floating the idea that President Trump himself had a hand in silencing his old pal Epstein to protect himself from being implicated in child trafficking and child rape scandal. He gets it half right there. That is the liberal side of this. The left-wing side of it that is horseshoe theory, comes right back around. Clinton body count, definitely the Clintons had him killed.
I mean,
for
that's
sure.
the beauty of this thing. As if it has any sort of pedagogical value, it's you might be able to use it to shake people of their knee-jerk partisanship. It's like they're both
It's
bad.
certainly an anti-elite story.
Yeah, they're both bad. There's no good rich people. There's no good powerful people in these stories. There's no, the ones with the D or the R next to their name. They're the white hats.
There's no one over a certain degree of income that isn't a pedophile.
Yes.
Framing the President of the United States as a secretive killer, covering up his dastardly deeds with children is a deeply toxic idea. A child who hears these conspiracies and internalizes them could develop a deep mistrust of political leaders that could poison their faith in democracy. And when enough people lose faith in democracy,
I'm looking up father.
then
right
the
now.
country becomes destabilized.
Is this an Epstein joint?
Well, I hope you're happy talking about Epstein. Now my son's a fucking Carlos.
You know what? He won't take off the fucking beret at the dinner table.
All my,
You know
all
what?
my babies are birchers
It might be a
now.
fucking Epstein thing because I don't know if you guys know this. In the early aughts, Epstein and Harvey Weinstein founded Radar, the magazine, explicitly so that they could buy and bury stories about them. He paid a bunch of people after he got out of jail. He did a PR thing where these reporters were taking like $600 checks to plant stories in like the National Review about, science of philanthropist Jeffrey Epstein. And those motherfuckers still have jobs and blue check marks. It's like you will sell out $600 for a fucking pedophile and you're fine with it. And they're not fired. They're not ashamed of themselves. None of them have committed harikari. But it just shows the like absolute rot. Like no one has any moral sense of anything. You think yourself a journalist, you'd think somebody giving you a $600 to do any promotional article would give you qualms, let alone a fucking just released pedophile, but not even for a second do you think about it. Among others.
Why Russia has weaponized social media.
No.
Oh shit.
Jesus.
Oh fuck.
You guys.
As they condemn this conspiracy theory, the true interesting one, they bring it all back to be, actually, no, this other dumb idiot conspiracy theory, that's the real one. And that's the one that you should promote to your children. They should go to school fearing Russians.
Amber, you just did on the fly some research
Yeah, very brief stuff. So started in like 2014 as pitched to the Times as BuzzFeeds meets Vice for parents. I know. It's very cursed. Very cursed. It has some Gates Foundation money.
Very sus.
Michael Strahan.
Very sus.
That guy Jeff
Gates
Kinney
Foundation.
who wrote those Diary of a Wimpy Kid things, and then like a guy that wrote parenting books, privately held. Hard to dig up stuff on the founders, but we'll keep working on it.
Yeah.
They bring it all back to Russia at the end there. It says that makes pushing the Epstein conspiracies, either from the right or left, deeply dangerous. On an individual level, it can erode the sense of stability in our children and ultimately their mental health. But on a larger level, it could erode the foundations of our country. Smart and discerning adults should know better. We should promote facts before we start promoting fear.
Got that, Vladimir? I know you're reading this right now while I'm writing it on my my Google Notes app because you hacked my computer.
All right, so again, done some brain damage. Let's just do a brief palate cleanser at the end of the show. Okay, I want to bring you guys back.
All right, what you got? What you got?
We're living in a world of fear, a world of illusion.
It's a hall of mirrors.
So, let's close out this episode with a little bit of slam poetry.
Let's fucking go, buddy.
In my opinion, the best kind of poetry.
The only kind for me.
Yeah.
This one's courtesy of Ariel Sobel.
She's
She's pretty lit.
yeah, she's kind of fucking goated on it. Like she's kind of nice with it.
She's sort of a, how would you describe her? I don't know, like
Woke Zionist.
a woke Hasbarist who's trying to make being a Zionist a marginalized identity group that,
I mean, that is literally the basis of Zionism. It's what you get with identity politics, folks. And I have met Ellie, and you know what? She's right.
So this comes courtesy of a Twitter user. I'm not going to be able to just say the name here, but someone dug up that she had a blog that contained.
It's our friend who dug it up.
Oh,
Ron.
oh shit. Okay.
Yeah, we had her on.
But we discovered some slam poetry courtesy of Ariel Sobel, who's, like I said, I believe she said that Bernie Sanders is a bad Jew and made a point to connect Ellie Valley with neo-Nazis. So, slam poetry by Ariel Sobel titled, Mom, I'm a Rapper.
All right, this is
All right,
promising a lot.
Yeah.
Let's hear it.
I'm about to spit, okay?
Yeah.
Last night, I told my mom that I'm gonna be a rapper because my tongue and wit are a hell of a lot faster than Lil Wayne's complaints about not enough hoes and too many bastards. And all that serious shit.
No fucking way.
I don't think Felix is going to make it.
I'm literally not, man. This is what the Epstein stuff does to Matt. This does to me. Like this is already ruining me. Imagine like getting out of a Hillel meeting and calling your mom because I know this didn't literally happen, but
No, I think it might have.
you walk out of the Hillel meeting and you call your mom on the phone and you're like, Lil Wayne only talks about hoes. This is breaking my fucking mind.
I believe that this very well exact scenario might have actually happened. This person is this earnest. All right.
Fuck this.
All right. Deep breaths. Deep
Shit
breaths.
sucks so much.
Hand motions of like that Coke Industries guy who did the video about us.
Deep breaths. Did you,
Well, he
did
had
you
the white
eat your
rapper hand
mom's spaghetti
motions.
before you did this?
Yeah. You have to do the white rap. You have to swat invisible flies.
I'm doing the white rapper.
Yeah.
Slam poetry.
Yeah.
Okay, so I gotta get
Cool.
I'm lyrical. Yeah.
In all that serious shit that's on Sirius XM that stem from the crapper, because I can take the box out of B-box, find inspiration from TED Talks, lines in long walks, my diary, would hire me. Shit. DJ, run that back. Oh, come on.
Oh. Felix is just pacing right now. He has dropped the microphone. He's just pacing.
I can take the box out of B-box, find inspiration from TED Talks, lines in the long walks down the
Okay.
What's up?
Okay.
What?
That's
I'd call the fearless stags instead of fags.
What?
Bags under my eyes from spending my nights editing out lies, turning on lights in the rooms when I'm most vulnerable.
Oh no!
I'll get back.
Oh no!
Turning on lights in the rooms where I'm most vulnerable, and I put you under a spell with the fact that I can spell words tasty and swell, and my rap name would practically be the same: Ariel, So, Bell, or Snow White, because I've been awakened by the kiss of life, and my bar fights will be ripping with tights before my first sip, and from my lips will drip. Last night, words I drip, I'd outrhyme Eminem and Lil Wayne. Throw a steak through Drake and make Dre need a doctor. Nicki Minaj would show her ass and I'd top her with some class. And explain to 2 Chainz that some dope shit runs through my veins, and he'd hand me the rings. As I got more out of Macklemore and showed Ludacris the door, because I won't bring you to your knees, but leave you on the floor, shattered and sore. For my tongue to spun things as crazy as Amanda Bynes, and my heart to beat faster than the quickest vines. And my rhymes are hotter than Ryan Gosling watching Titanic. We might not be at the disco, but you better panic, because I'm the manic, depressant, fluorescent, luminescent, adolescent. And life may be evanescent, but I'll stay effervescent. Knock me down and I'm convalescent. In the dark, I'm incandescent, and I refuse to be quiescent. I'm the next gen great rapper. You can't tap her, but tap into her. Mic drop.
I don't know what God wants me to do with this information. This really, all right. So like,
Again.
so, okay. So you know how like in ballet they say you have to like focus on a spot on the wall to not get nauseous.
Yeah.
I picked one for this, and it's when she implies that she would eat Nicki Minaj's pussy, but like classy style. But it's not helping me to focus on that. It's just I'm still spinning. I'm fucking. There's just so much there. Like there's so much.
What I take away from this poem is that this is a person who has basically made a career out of calling people racist if you don't like Benjamin Netanyahu, and the entire purpose of this slam poetry is that she's a better rapper than Drake and Lil Wayne.
Hey,
And also,
hey, blacks, listen up.
What is her opinion on do-rags? Like, how does that?
She does
She's
not like
not a
them.
fan.
She
but
thinks people should. She thinks those
It's
people.
respectful.
She seems to think they're a political signal.
Yeah,
Those people should pull their pants up. That's what she means.
Mine was, I build a quilt with scenes and dreams rather than swag and do-rags.
So like do-rags are like the opposite of like dreams or
I don't know.
looks like they're
think she doesn't
never gonna do a
understand-
wave check at APAC.
I don't think she understands that it's a functional garment.
Yeah, literally.
I think what she's saying is that she thinks that her dream quilt would be one of spiritual enlightenment and not just crass material pursuits like other rappers.
Material pursuits like do-rags,
buy
the most
do-rags
expensive
at the
thing
bodega.
you could buy, like 80 cents.
Look, all I
I'm
know
just
is that
thinking about my white Jewish friend who bought a do-rag in 6th grade. That kid owns.
all I know is I am now not going to be satisfied until I can get more rap inspired by TED Talks.
This is like everyone. Okay, look, when me and E1 did Lyrical Cookout, many have said it's the worst thing ever recorded, but this is actually shittier. This is worse than Lyraculous. Cut all of this. It's true. It's so true.
This Friday at Necronomicon in Providence, the Call of Cthulhu saga continues live on stage at the Columbus Theater in Providence. This Friday, tickets still available. Buy those tickets in the link for the show description. We have also unlocked our latest Call of Cthulhu saga, The Musks of Nyarlathotep.
What do we say, guys? Great shit, man. That was dope.
I just want that TED Talk rap concept album would be ideal. What it would
See you in Providence, everybody.
Yeah.
Bye-bye.
Bye.